What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? I don't know if I just remixed the intro or not.
Yeah, hey man, you did right. You did good. You did.
We're gonna go with it. Whatever just happened, we're gonna go with that. But welcome to the podcast. I know we took a couple weeks off. We took a holiday break and all that good stuff. So we are back in action. This one should be the last on Spotify, and then we should start to publish elsewhere, but it'll still be on Spotify. So I don't know. I'm still working through those details. Like, nothing should change for you. However, we should have a fancier page and better metrics in the near future, right? So that's the goal. So the migration will hopefully happen in May. So nothing should change though. You still, if you catch us on YouTube, we'll still be on YouTube. If you catch us on Apple, Anchor, Breaker, Radio FM, Rebel, I don't know, something or other, Google, Amazon, we're everywhere. None of that stuff should change. But definitely continue to tune in Monday, Tuesday, our topics, Wednesday's discussion, and then Friday episodes, everything else. So non-cyber related stuff. Without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article comes from CNN.com, right? And it's written by Sean Lingas. North Korean hackers breach software firm in significant cyber attack is the title of this one, right? So it's suspected North Korea's at it again, right? So they actually breached a software firm called 3CX, right? Which does I believe they're VoIP. It was 3CX. 3CX is VoIP software development company, right? So voice over IP. And so what ended up happening, this was a little interesting, right? Because this was a supply chain attack that is really two linked supply chain attacks for this one. And what is kind of significant to me about this one is that the initial supply chain, or the initial company that they used to get into 3CX's infrastructure was one that was not even used by them, or not even a secondary company that they employ. So they had a worker that used the name of the place was trading. What was the name of it? Trading. It was like a not a cybersecurity. What do you call it? Cryptocurrency company.
Yeah, Trading Technologies.
Trading Technologies. There it is. I was like, man, it's TT. I remember the TT. Trading Technologies. And so somebody at the company downloaded the app Trading Technologies onto their work computer, which it had no business being there, right?
Right.
Like, this is why this is a thing, right? Like when I teach cybersecurity, I tell people this: do not put any software on your system unless it is approved. There is a process for that. You know what I mean? Like, there are things that you should be doing, but apparently that's what happened here. Is that this person downloaded an app from Trading Technologies, and even with that, with using what they were doing on Trading Technologies, it was a tool called X Trader, I believe is what it was, or Trader X or something like that. Maybe I'm thinking of Racer X, but I could be thinking of Speed Racer. But it was
deep cut.
Yeah. Like X Trader is what the name, X_Trader, which the company Trading Technologies stopped using in 2020. They were like, do not use this anymore, right? So it hasn't been getting patched or anything like that. So not only did they have something on their machine they should not have had, right? But they had software from that app that was not protected. You know what I mean? So it's like, because of that, they got into 3CX's system, got into their infrastructure, start rooting around in there, and then they started another supply chain attack. So people that were using 3CX, right? They go to even if you go to the site, right? This is what the whole supply chain attack thing is, right? This is why it's so I'm not gonna say prolific. What am I trying to say? Successful, right? Because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're going to the company for the updates that you need, right? Well, they're not good there, right? So this is what can happen. But yeah, so like this happened back in March, I want to say it was, right? Was that what this one was? I think it was back.
Yeah, it's a time frame.
Happened, yeah. But then like a couple weeks later, they were like, yeah, no, yeah, they got us. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. And the thing is, like, initially their CEO downplayed it, right? So like the CEO on March 30th said very few, that's the quote, very few of his customers appear to be actually compromised by the hackers, right? So, but then they reached out, it was a couple weeks later. Then he kind of admitted, he was like, they don't know how many customers ultimately downloaded the tampered 3CX software, how many customers saw follow-on hacking activity, which they serve 600,000 customers and support 12 million calls daily. So it could be a lot of people out there that don't know they're compromised, but they really are. So it just goes to show people, like, there's the reason you have these different rules, in place for you to not download things that shouldn't be on your computer. And again, for something that's not even in relation to the company. So this is probably an employee that probably was doing some crypto trading or something like that, and then downloaded this trading technology software just so they could be doing it at work, which you shouldn't be doing. You should be working at work, right? But this is what happens, right? So now that I'm certain this person lost their job. I'm certain when they trace this.
Yeah, that's unfortunate though. But yeah, right. Most likely.
Yeah. But yeah, so people, don't do what you're not supposed to do. There's a reason for these rules, and this is the reason why, right? Like, this is very far reaching. 600,000 customers is this company supports. So Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so my first thought would be, it was probably remote worker, right? Like, I hate to assume that, because I like remote work. That's what I do. But for this to happen, like, because you're not going to be sitting there in your cubicle trading stocks. Maybe you are, maybe you're that bold or whatever, but most likely this is a person working from home. Perhaps they're using their own laptop, as opposed to having one issued to them by the company. Because if it's issued to them by the company, you think there'd be like some restrictions, parameters, like you wouldn't be able to download the software, or if you did, it'd be flagged. But if they're just logging in through a portal to do their work and using their own laptop, it's wild, wild west. Like, you don't know what this person has on their laptop and what they're doing with it. You would hope that would get caught, like you said, through training, right? Like, they would have been trained, sign a user agreement, know what not to do. But if they just click through the CBT, as opposed to, like, you are teaching the class, you're engaged with people, they necessarily may have not been paying attention, right? They just want to get that final certification so they can onboard and then go back to trading their stocks. So hopefully that's not the case, but I would think it would be more likely than a person in an office, they're day trading stocks, right? Like, I doubt that would be a thing. Although I have seen it when I was in the military. You're like, yo, he's supposed to be working right now. What are you doing? The second part of that, though, what is confusing to me is, because they talk about, like, they interviewed Mandiant as well as CrowdStrike. So it's not often you see a supply chain attack leading to another supply chain attack. Like, so for that itself is pretty impressive. But what I don't understand is, North Korea is not known for its DCO, right? Like, their defensive cyber is not that great, because we talked about it last year or the year before, where one man took down the entire North Korean network. I think he was from the US, could have been the US or the UK, but he like, they wrote articles about this guy. He himself was able to take him down. How are you so good at offensive cyber, so bad at defensive cyber? Like, you're I get that you have to make money for your weapons programs and, like, stuff like that. Like they're doing nefarious things and they're getting really good at them in order to keep the money coming. But you need to secure yourself.
But here's the thing. Here's and you bring up a good question, actually. So me thinking this through, because I didn't even think about that. Yeah. What do they have that everybody else wants? Like,
I see what you're saying. Like, who wants to go into their network to do anything?
Yeah.
I mean, reconnaissance, right? Like, that's what they did. They did excellent reconnaissance. Because according to, I believe it was CrowdStrike, it looks as though only 10 users were given this Trojan horse of some sort. Is very specific. They knew who they wanted to target. They knew what it would lead to, and now the U.S. has to step in because it could have impacted, like you said, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, because of the type of attack. This being a supply chain attack. But how are you so good and precise at that, but you're not good at defending your own network? Like, you think you take these if you took this amount of effort, they would have the greatest firewall of all time to be this good. Because this is more of a China or a Russia type of effort.
It is, but like, again, with North Korea, right? It's like it's like I don't know for sure, right? And I could be reading into the propaganda, right? You never know, but it's like being in Cuba, right? Like you don't see anything in there that's past like the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. And
you,
but
you
it's
you look at
well
everything,
kept.
right?
Yeah.
But like you got cars in there that's just like, man, is that like a 1974?
Right. It's still running.
Like,
It's
yeah,
still like at least from like yeah, because I've never been there before, but like that's something they do
yeah,
highlight. Like the stuff they have there because they can't import
yeah.
a lot of stuff is like pristine. They keep it. What
And
they say to keep it clean though.
yeah, but I keep them clean. I keep them clean. It's like the not the mad rapper. What was that? Jay Jerkin. Jay Jerkin. It's a rap thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a skit. It's a skit the Locks used to do where Diddy was when they were under
Ah, I
back.
vaguely remember that.
Yes, Jay Jerkin is what they called him. So he was like, I'm not gonna give you 20s. He said, I'm gonna give you a little bit of chrome, but you got to keep some clean though. But yeah, it's Jay Jerkin. But anyway, back to what we're here for. That's a Friday
Right.
conversation. but yeah. So like at what point is it like it's not worth the investment you're putting in for people to be sitting there and spending the time
I
on
see
it?
what you're saying. You put your efforts towards the thing that's making you
Yeah,
money and keeping you running, as opposed to that no one comes in here anyway
yeah.
to do nefarious things per se. Well, I bet you keep playing around, keep messing around, and you will see what happens, right? Because now you're getting a lot of the bigger um, uh, Department of Justice. You're getting the FBI. You're getting a lot of people involved in this because of how, like you said, how grand scale this attack is. Now you're gonna have people stooping around, so you should probably start to defend your network a little bit better.
Yeah,
But
because SZA is looking into it, like you said, like
right,
it's looking
yeah.
into it. SZA's
So
taking.
you're bringing all the big dogs in there because you're getting too good at what you're doing. So there's something to be said about that as well, right? You want to be masters of your craft, but you don't want to necessarily
Draw the
have
wrath.
that attribution,
Yeah.
right?
You don't want to wake the sleeping giant. Not that we're a sleeping giant, but it's just like you don't want our attention like
Right.
Russia or China is getting. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah, very true. So we'll see what comes of it. But yeah, I thought that's the reason I threw it in the chat, because I've never seen a supply chain attack go into another supply chain attack, right? Like at least not being advertised to this level, for CNN to report about it, and to have to or to do some pretty good reporting where they had Mandy and CrowdStrike and I remember the figure from not the military, from the U.S. government. I can't remember where they're what they're part of, but to bring those three minds together to kind of talk about this shows that people are watching now. Like this is being attributed back to you, so you should be careful.
but I think you're thinking of the SZA spokesman. It was just a
Oh, was
SZA.
it scissor spokesman? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a SZA
So,
spokesman that said, "Hey,
yeah, I did like this article. It was pretty well written, and it did provide a lot of context as well. So we'll see what happens. But I'll go ahead and land this plane. Definitely tune in throughout the rest of the week. So Monday and Tuesday are topics, Wednesday's discussion. Please like, share, subscribe. So say that at the beginning, the middle, and the end, and I always forget. Maybe tomorrow when you listen, I'll get it right. Hit up all the websites that go by our name. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I am on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Stay safe, stay secure.